This is the one that I wanted to watch with you guys. All three of them, actually. We'll
With courses developed and taught by some of the most distinguished names in the U.S. fire industry, Columbia Southern University stands as the leader in online fire science education.
The kind you'd walk.
Okay, so this video is called The Insane Story of Serbia's Human Slaughterhouse. This immediately caught my attention. Sounds absolutely insane. I've never heard about it, so
From the outside,
let's learn about it together.
Serbia looks like a regular apartment building, the kind you'd walk past without giving it a second glance. But if you step into the garage and slip through this tiny hidden hatch leading down into the basement, suddenly you're standing in an eerie white room. Well, white except for these small stains on the walls. The floor is covered with dark tiles, and at the back of the room stands a large machine. This room is used by the Balkan Mafia. They kidnap their enemies and bring them here, allegedly torturing and killing them. But bodies are evidence, so they make sure there isn't any, reportedly with the help of an industrial meat grinder.
Oh my God.
I think the motto was that if there's no body, there will never be possible to prosecute us.
This is the story of one of Europe's most notorious crime networks and their human slaughterhouse. Their alleged ties to Serbia's elites and an ingenious takedown by relentless investigators.
Oh my gosh. A meat grinder? Oh, dude, a team worked on this video. Don didn't get much recognition for the voiceover. Okay, a whole team went into this video. This is a movie.
Trigger warning. This video contains graphic descriptions of violence as well as references to disturbing material. Viewer discretion is advised.
I never do good with this kind of stuff, but I'm interested in the stories, but I don't do good with like graphic violence and shit.
Much of what we know about this case stems from an indictment by the Prosecutor's Office for Organized Crime in Serbia, as well as reporting by the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project and the Serbian investigation portal Creek. Their work has been crucial in uncovering this story. You can find links in the description.
Venezuela, Ukraine, Cam Empire.
Chances are you'd struggle to find Serbia on a map. It's a landlocked country, south of Hungary, next to Romania. Roughly 6.5 million
Does
people.
landlocked mean that it's surrounded by other countries? Is that what that means? So they don't have access to the oceans?
Live here. Politically, it's run by the right-wing SNS party. Aleksandar Vučić has been president since 2017.
Damn.
In the streets of Serbia, the Balkan Mafia has a strong presence.
Looks beautiful.
Two clans play a major role, the Kavač and the Škaljari. Their story begins in a neighboring country.
Kotor is one of the most beautiful towns.
Dude, I've always wanted to live by the water.
This is Stevan Dojčinović. He's the editor-in-chief of the Serbian investigative portal Creek.
They have really has huge old town, which is really nice, and it's popular tourist area. And there's a lot of basically sailors that actually coming from this town.
Does this sound crazy that I have been wanting to sail for the past year? Does it sound even crazier that I would like to live on the water, like a houseboat? Imagine that you have like a plot of water. I don't know if that's what it's called. Where you have a houseboat, everything you need, access to the city, you know, you're just out in the water living on a houseboat. And attached to it, or right next to it, is a sailboat that you can go and just sail across the world on sometimes and then come home. Dude, that would be absolutely amazing.
In the 2000s, a single criminal group called the Kotor clan operated here. It was under the rule of drug lord Darko Šarić.
I know that was irrelevant.
For more than a decade, he controlled a significant share of the cocaine trade into Europe.
Oh, shit.
Until he was arrested in 2014. And after a cocaine deal went wrong in Spain, the group split into two clans, the Kavač and the Škaljari, named after two villages in the region. These two clans don't just operate in Montenegro. They're active across the Balkans and traffic drugs all over Europe.
Oh my
So
God.
basically the role of Balkan organized crime group is to transport
So these guys are the real deal.
from South America to Europe, and then usually they sell these drugs to European gangs. They will not deal with distributions.
The Kavač and the Škaljari are locked in a violent conflict. This basically means they're hunting each other down.
I cannot even count anymore, but it was definitely more than 100 murders were connected in this war of these two gangs. More than 100, definitely. And then in different countries, they found groups to join one another side. Like in Bosnia, Some of the Bosnian criminal groups joined more like Škaljari, others joined the Kavač gang.
As a result,
Jesus,
the conflict
bro.
between the Montenegrin clans has spilled over into neighboring countries.
Why did they start beefing? Weren't they one gang originally? What made them start beefing?
Croatia, Bosnia, Slovenia, and Serbia.
In Serbia, they were looking for like local Serbian allies. They found and as one of their most important allies in Serbia was this criminal group around Belivuk.
Want to produce pro-level electronic music? Imagine
Come on.
if you could finish
Is this
clean
part of the video?
professional tracks in any.
As you may have noticed, we've added this disclaimer to our videos. With generative AI on the rise, we want you to know there's a real team building these animations and researching and writing these stories. We don't think AI should ever replace human creativity and effort. In our view, if used correctly and prudently, it can simply be a useful supportive tool.
What is this?
Merlin AI is an all-in-one AI platform that gives users access. Each has different strengths. All of that uses and finds everything you've. In Belgrade's group called Yanni, hooligans set the tone. In Belgrade stadiums, hooligans set the tone. Loud, aggressive, and powerful. One of them is Veliko Belivuk. In 2016, he's a member of a hooligan group called Janičari.
They were a football hooligan group who suddenly appeared out of the blue and become very important on the stadium of Football Club Partizan.
CCTV footage shows Belivuk and others beating the bodyguard of the director of FC Partizan. After Janičari's leader is murdered, Belivuk takes over. According to the New York Times,
Why
he
even be
renames the
violent in the
group
first
Principi
place?
because he acts on principle. But the name also carries an association with Gavrilo Princip, a nationalist whose assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria set off World War I.
Wait, didn't
Over
America
time,
have an
Belivuk
Archduke Franz whatever? Or am I tripping?
Transforms. He's no longer just a leader of hooligans.
He became one of the top allies of Kavač gang.
Principi begins to
I can't help notice he has something in his mustache.
operate as a major outpost for the Kavač. In 2020, the war between the Kavač and the Škaljari is still raging.
Why?
Belivuk and his group played their part in the war on Serbian soil. And they come up with an idea, one that takes the violence to a whole new level. They start looking for a place to kill and destroy the evidence.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They found a house which was very close to the river on the outskirts of the Belgrade.
This building will become their slaughterhouse. Inside, they set up a torture chamber. This is where they'll bring their victims, mostly members of rival gangs.
So it's really perfectly hidden.
Oh,
Inside
dude,
of the
that
house
must be
is like normal house,
terrifying,
but
dude.
if you manage to open this wall, so it's really perfectly hidden. Inside of
Who are these guys?
the house is like normal house, but if you manage to open this wall, then you have small corridor, and then what waits you under the stairs will be like a big room, which will be usually wrapped into the plastic, prepared for the murder, and with one chair. That's all. For me, more scary part than this was actually how they were like bringing victims. Most of these people actually lured inside of the house.
One of the victims is a man we'll call Luka Maric, not his real name. He's a leader of a rival partisan hooligan group and an important associate of a man called Filip Korac.
Now, Filip Korac is an important organized crime figure from the
Oh,
Serbia,
that's not something in his beard. It's jewelry.
who sided with Škaljar gang.
That means Luka has ties to the enemy. In August 2020, his wife is making dinner and feeding their two babies.
Oh,
Luka
no.
heads out to buy guns.
He was afraid for his life then more, so he
no.
kind of felt something could happen. He wanted to buy new guns, most likely in order to better protect himself.
According to the indictment, he meets a friend he trusts on a dirt road beside an empty field.
Jesus.
Luka doesn't know it yet, but his friend has betrayed him. The meeting is a trap. Belivuk and his gang are waiting for him.
Oh, no.
Their modus operandi would be to find the person which is very close to you, which then they will make to shift the sides and start working with them. And then they will use somebody you trust to actually lure you. So this happened in this case.
Jesus.
They jump him, tie him up, and take him to the slaughterhouse.
Oh, no.
Then they drag him inside, force him to unlock his phone, and go through his contacts.
The first moment he understood that basically
You're done for.
he's done.
According to the indictment, Belivuk and his gang begin to torture him. Afterwards, they behead Luka with an axe.
They use his blood to
that's
write on
disgusting.
his back, Korac, which was kind of basically a message for his boss, Philip Courage.
Then Believuk and his gang send a photo of the scene to Luka's boss. One of the messages reads,
"Tick-tock, tick-tock, this is how you'll end up. We'll catch you."
Oh my God.
According to prosecutors, after that, Luka's body is cut into pieces and put through the industrial meat grinder. The remains end up in bags and are dumped into the Danube.
River was the kind of final stage of dismantling the body, which started inside of the house when they were basically chopped the bodies and grind them through this machine until they literally become, let's say...
Don't say, oh, come on, dude.
Liquid in a way, because then this liquid basically throwing in the river, which fishes eat. So literally, there was not even like small bone, anything that could be found.
Oh my God.
Then the bags, along with the victims' clothes and belongings, are burned.
They decide to run the slaughterhouse because they believe that's the most efficient way to kill people and not leave the traces.
Holy shit.
In the end, the whole thing was about efficiency and hiding any traces.
Yo, these places are worse than America. Oh my God.
And actually it was efficient in a way that till today no body was recovered. I think their motto was that if there's no body, it will never be possible to prosecute us.
Yo. Wait, am I into anime chicks? What the hell's going on?
Luka is neither the only nor the last alleged victim of Believuk and his group. Zdravko Radojevic was lured in a similar way,
Oh,
with the promise of buying a gun. The prosecutor claims he also ended up in the meat grinder. And then there's Milan Lapoja.
Milan Lapoja was the highest level criminal who was killed in the slaughterhouse. He was like some old school mafia guy.
He first made headlines in 2007.
Jesus,
Back then, he was part of a group of notorious jewel thieves known as the Pink Panthers.
It's like the group that Hollywood movies.
That's a tough name for a group.
Their Dubai job, the Wafi Mall heist, was legendary. In just 170 seconds, they stole millions in jewelry and sped off in their Audis. But Interpol eventually caught up with them. DNA evidence linked Lapoja to the heist. He was ultimately arrested and sentenced to 9 years in prison. After
Pink
that,
Panthers,
he returned to
that's
his hometown
tough.
in Serbia and got in bed with the Shkaljadi clan. By 2020, he had a new job.
He took role in one attempt to murder the leader of Kavač gang, Rado Zvitser, in Ukraine. He was shot.
That guy looks like someone you don't want to mess with.
Lapoja was allegedly involved in planning the attempted killing. Now the Kavač clan wants revenge. Like Luka, Lapoja feels threatened. He starts looking for extra protection and considers buying an armored car. Believuk and his gang hear about that and lure him into a trap.
And they call him to come to this house in Ritopek.
Instead of buying a car, he too ends up in their torture room.
And it's interesting how he reacted. So he was down in this chamber. He saw they came with the axe to chop him. He reacted in a way like, well, what do you do? He said, like, this is very bizarre. I'm not for this kind of stuff. Like he said, I'm for like, we can do fist fighting, we can shoot with the guns, but this thing, no. And this is really interesting because you can see really kind of big difference between his older generation, these new young guys who are like kind of very much brutal even.
Yeah, like, even the gunfight's crazy, but dude, just fist fight it out like men, bro. What are y'all doing grinding people up? Fist fight like men. Why does it have to be so extreme, bro?
Stevan calls Believuk and his group a millennial mafia, a generation of criminals that doesn't just
people
kill,
they
but
love,
turns
people who
violence
love them.
into a spectacle. And
Even
though
if they're
Lapoja
criminals.
fights for his life, there's no escape. But how do we know all of this? Time to talk about Sky.
Sky Global.
Sky Global was founded in Canada in 2008.
Ooh.
The company runs an encrypted messaging network, and it sells phones that come with this ultra-secure network pre-installed. A lot of users switched to Sky phones after a similar encrypted phone provider was taken over and then shut down by the authorities. The camera, microphone, and GPS are all disabled in Sky phones.
What?
The encrypted messenger Sky ECC is hidden inside the calculator app. Users access it by entering a specific code.
And then you use your nickname, which you create, to communicate with other nicknames through this Sky network. So it was basically a way how basically criminals can speak.
You can choose for your messages to automatically delete. If the phone isn't used for a certain period of time, it'll erase itself. There are also features like a panic password and a kill switch. The phones
Remote
can be
deletion.
accessed remotely to instantly wipe all data from them. The company is so confident in its privacy protections that it offers $5 million to anyone who can break their encryption within 90 days. Sky phones are perfect for people who value privacy above all else, and they're quite popular with criminals. You can't just walk into a store and buy one. They're distributed through a complex network of distributors and lower-level resellers. This man, known as the Smiling Butcher, claims he was one of them.
So he literally worked for the Sky company and selling their phones.
It's unclear whether he worked for Sky Global in any official capacity, but he's the tech guy for Bellyvuk's Principi hooligan group, and he makes sure they conduct their business via the Sky network. Bellyvuk and his henchmen share messages and photos in group chats on Sky ECC. They think they're safe, but they aren't.
What?
In the late 2010s, police find more and more Sky phones in the hands of criminals, so they begin investigating the network behind them. Authorities in the Netherlands and France discovered that the Global Sky Communications Network mainly runs through 2 servers. They're both located in a data center of the hosting company OVH in northern France. French authorities install an IP tap on the servers to monitor their traffic. The traffic is encrypted, so they can't read messages yet, but analysts find a way to copy the server's memory. Through that, they obtain an encryption certificate. Using that certificate, French, Belgian, and Dutch authorities
the government has great hackers and engineers and shit like that, obviously, but I'm convinced that there's just people out there who are better than the best in the government. It's weird, bro. It's weird how that works, bro.
Authorities develop a method to decrypt Sky ECC's communications. This allows them to read the user's messages. In 2021, a joint team of European law enforcement agencies gets to work. They spend several weeks reading Sky chats in real time. It's a rare moment. To them, it feels like standing outside in the dark, peeking inside a house, when suddenly, someone turns on the lights. More than that, it feels as if they're suddenly sitting at the dinner table with the criminals. The authorities intercept approximately 1 billion messages.
Whoa!
According to law enforcement, about 170,000 Sky phones are registered worldwide. Each month, roughly 70,000 users actively communicate on the platform. Some are located in the Americas.
None in
most are
Canada.
About a quarter of all active users are based in Belgium and the Netherlands. Many of their messages, police say, cluster around one specific place, the port of Antwerp. We've already made a video about how Antwerp's port has become Europe's main gateway for cocaine and how cartels recruit miners to break into containers and retrieve drugs for them. But a lot of other messages the authorities read come from an entirely different region, the Balkans. They also stumble upon the communications of Bellyvuk and his gang, and what they uncover is horrifying. The prosecution has collected the nicknames that the criminals used in the app. In one of the chats, Bellyvuk, using his nickname Soprano, writes,
"I can't wait to strangle him."
And,
"See, honey?
These people are deranged in the head. They're absolutely sick in the head.
Mexico in the middle of Belgrade."
Even when he's not around, he seems to be asking his men to describe the torture at length.
"Don't skip those juicy details for me."
In the chats, Soprano approves kidnappings and killings with short messages.
"We're for it."
The Smiling Butcher writes,
"He has already lost a finger and is badly ruined. But the idiot thinks he will get out. I've already skinned him well."
Whoa!
Boom. Mar hits him in the head. He got a brutal beating by them, bro. He was already seriously unconscious. Afterwards, bro, he was all black. He didn't resist much, didn't cry, nothing. He was in terrible shock.
What the hell, bro?
So think of it as like a TV ad with a catalog component where I can choose on the Roku app.
Jesus, bro. Imagine how scary and traumatizing it would be to be the cop investigating it. Obviously the victim, but oh my God, bro.
The authorities see all the pictures the gang shares in their chats. Screenshots of Bitcoin transfers to pay off hitmen, fake identity documents, bundles of cash, weapons, shipments of cocaine, and disturbing photos of torture. Police can see all this evidence because Bellyvuk and his gang didn't delete the photos.
Because, the Sky is a system every month basically cleans everything. So in order to save these photos, in the end of the month, they were always sending them to somebody from inside of the gang just to keep them saved. So they really wanted to keep these messages. It's weird, but in a way, how they found the house, how they built the house with this secret corridor, how the careful was not to leave any traces, that they did everything like so carefully there, and they were like taking and saving these photos was major evidence. And that's kind of really interesting element to the whole thing.
Yeah, you would
French
think they would be
authorities
more
informed the
careful.
Serbian police about the chats. As a result, Belivuc and part of his gang are arrested. They're charged with criminal association, multiple aggravated murders, drug and arms trafficking, kidnapping, and rape. Hundreds more alleged criminals are arrested in other raids across Europe. In Belgium, more than 100 people are convicted in the country's biggest drug trial ever. Sky
Who's this
Global's
guy?
CEO, Jean-François Yves, and former distributor Thomas Herdman were indicted in both the US and France.
Oh.
In the US, Yves and Herdman are accused of knowingly and intentionally participating in a criminal enterprise that facilitated drug trafficking. In a statement and in an interview
never
with
know.
Motherboard, the CEO said
You
that
never
law
know.
enforcement was trying to vilify anyone who pushed back against unwarranted surveillance. According to him, the encrypted chat platform existed for one reason: to protect the fundamental right to privacy. After the arrests, the police searched the
Nothing
house
good
in
could
Budapest.
come out of that, though.
They entered the garage, climbed through the hidden hatch, opened the door, and found evidence of the bloodbath that took place there.
Yeah.
The industrial meat grinder, a groove cut into the tiled floor running from one side to the other, several stains on the walls, on the door, next to a radiator, on the tap, and on the light switches. The smiling butcher cut a deal with the authorities. Based on his testimony and the DNA found in the room, authorities believe that at least 7 people were killed in the slaughterhouse.
Gosh,
The arrest
bro.
of Belivuc and his group was celebrated as a major victory for the Serbian authorities, and it
They
also
got
caught
caught
the
in a
attention
gym.
of politicians.
Danas smo razgovarali o razbijanju kriminalne bande Belivuk Miljković i sa velikim ponosom mogu da kažem da je ova banda razbijena.
Dakle, ono što je naša poruka. S ovom bandom smo završili.
The Serbian president seemed very pleased that Belivuc and his gang had been arrested. Yet he himself is accused of having enabled figures like Belivuc to operate under quiet protection for years.
What?
In
Yo,
2000
you know you're cooked when you're like the government, the president is like okaying it.
2006, Montenegro broke away from Serbia after a popular vote. The Serbian government under President Tadic followed reformist center-left policies. But ever since Aleksandar Vučić became president in 2017, he's been running the country more like an autocracy. Freedom of expression is limited. Corruption is rampant. The growing frustration with the government has fueled repeated protests over the years. At the beginning of Vučić's first presidency, demonstrations against dictatorship erupted. A year later, another wave of protests followed after an opposition politician was brutally attacked by a group of hooded men.
Gosh.
In 2023, a school shooting sparked the Serbia
Gosh,
Against Violence
dude,
protests. And in 2024, the canopy at a freshly renovated train station in Novi Sad collapsed, killing 16 people.
And
Jesus.
the reason for this is corruption, because of the corruption, everything was badly done.
The train station was meant to showcase Serbia's progress, but instead became a symbol of everything going wrong in the country. Huge student-led protests aimed directly at Vučić's government erupted across the country. The authorities responded with violent crackdowns. In the year after the tragedy, more than 80 journalists were physically attacked. Vučić doesn't hesitate to deploy police forces against anti-government protesters. But according to Stevan, he's also using
Organized crime figures, which he's bringing against the
How does this guy know
protesters.
so
We have
much? I
government
forgot.
who basically cooperates with organized crime.
It's 2017, 2 years before they used the slaughterhouse. A murder shakes Serbia's capital, and Belivuc is caught up in it. The police arrest him and seize his phone.
And they found very interesting WhatsApp messages inside.
These chats end up in the hands of journalists who start digging through them. They revealed that Belivuc has some powerful contacts.
Yo, this has been like for a 30-minute video, 5 ads is actually crazy.
We found that actually Belivuc in that time was in direct contact with one really important member of Serbian gendarmerie.
That's a specially trained paramilitary unit within the Serbian police.
Wow.
This is his photo from army, but from army he moved to the police and he became one of the top persons in Serbian gendarmerie. And they were like daily, every day communicating. And we see from the messages basically he was approving and advising Belivuk what to do. Belivuk will say, I need to go after these guys. And he say like, no, keep quiet or do this, do this.
This member of the Serbian
they had
gendarmerie, according to the messages Creek has seen, effectively acted as Belivuk's superior. And from him, the trail led further up the chain.
This gendarme guy, this police guy was informing about everything a person he calls Diana. Diana Krkalovic was general secretary of Serbian police, which means after the minister, she was number 2 in the police.
And according to Stevan, this top secretary of the police was informed about everything the police officer in Belivuk discussed.
Jesus, bro, what can you do?
When something really important.
What can you do when it goes that high up in corruption, bro? Oh my God.
Is to decide, a police officer will say that besides Diana, also the boss and big boss are informed. They never mention who boss and big boss are, but following the logic of hierarchy, boss can only be like minister of police, which was Nebojša Stefanovic. A big boss could be just President Vučić, who was top of everything. Oh my gosh!
Belivuk himself later testified that his gang was organized for the needs and by the order of Aleksandar Vučić.
Through his testimony, Belivuk explained all the favors that he was doing to the government and actually telling why it's important for the Serbian government always to have control over these football hooligan groups.
According to Belivuk, his
football hooligan groups. Like, what are you talking about? Are people dying because of football?
His gang would intimidate anti-government protesters. During football games, they would stop fans from chanting against the president.
Also, when Vučić making his own protests, he will bring hooligans to have bigger number in there. So literally government was using them some sort of like street force.
The president denies all the allegations and says he never met Belivuk.
What we believe that happened is that when the French police entered the sky phones and when they found all these pictures and videos of the violence, torturing, dismantling bodies, and when the Serbia was informed, we believe that President Vučić understood that he cannot any longer work with the Belivuk group because he understood this is like become international issue, is big. So for this reason, we believe that eventually he basically arrested Belivuk gang.
To make himself
Belivuk and parts of his gang are off the streets, at least for now. But the system
to make
that backed
himself
them
look
is still
innocent.
in place. Police officials that instruct thugs and work closely together with them. And a president who's accused of using hooligans to silence his people. So far, almost no politicians or police officers have been brought to court in connection with this case.
The president of Serbia was in on it.
Police, prosecution, everything, and in these terms, it's not possible that you have top officials to be prosecuted.
Here in the center of Belgrade is the Serbian president's office.
And in front of his office is one big park. And it was a really nice park before, but what the president did, he created some sort of camp there, and inside our camp, where he brought a lot of these criminals.
What?
Stevan and his team at Creek identified many of them as members of
Trump
organized
would do,
crime.
bro.
People with long police records of violence and drug smuggling. And according to Stevan, the president uses these criminals as guards of a sort in front of his office.
So the protester can never really come very close to him.
We asked the Serbian president for a statement, but didn't receive a response.
Say you're guilty
the whole
without
point
saying
is
you're
that
guilty.
The Belivuk group is out, but I mean, the modus is still there. And until we have this sort of government now and our president on power, nothing will change. He will always bring in these guys. He will encourage organized crime structures, helping them, because he also have this value from them because they will protect him on another way.
Jesus, bro. Oh my gosh, dude. It surprises me how violent people can be with like no remorse for anything, bro. It actually surprises me. Wow, well put together video. Shout out Fern for putting that out. Shout out to everybody that worked on that. That was a fire video. Absolutely disgusts me, dude. Whenever the... Never trust a monkey. What is that? Why did I save it to watch later? It's 9 seconds. Like, whenever the president is in on the crime, what can you do? It's game over at that point, bro.